during the presentation and invite you to do the same. Remember to use hashtag ITE community. Now, with no further ado, Zach, take it away.
Thank you, Christina. Like Christina said, we have quite a few things to cover today, so let's go ahead and get started. Some of the topics that we're going to cover today are engagement. First, we're going to learn how to update your profile. We're going to learn how to join a discussion and how to build your network. We'll also learn how to ask a question, search the library, and browse the latest discussions. You'll learn how to add to the event calendar, create a blog entry, and start your own community. Okay, this is the ITE community homepage. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. Most of the people who knew the basics when they answered the question for registration. But here it is again. When you log in initially to community.ite.org, this is the page that comes up. You'll notice always in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage there'll be a link to your profile as well as your communities and how to log in and log out. Across the top of the screen, you'll see different tabs that basically show you around the different areas of the ITE community website, from your profile, your communities, a directory of all people from in ITE, the latest events, a glossary of terms, and the latest blogs. Additionally, on the ITE home or the community homepage, you'll get all of the latest information that corresponds kind of with those tabs that you see at the top. You'll see the latest job postings here, the top 3, or the most recent 3. You'll see the most recent discussions, the last 5 posts across the community. You'll see the most recent blogs, as you scroll down the page, you'll see the most recently shared files, the most next 5 upcoming events, and the most active members currently for that week. First, we're going to start with setting up your profile. The profile page, which I said you can access in the upper right-hand corner from the profile tab here, it's basically who you are within ITE and within the profession. You'll notice that when you click on your profile page, you'll already have your address and contact information filled out. This information is actually pulled from the ITE membership database and corresponds with what is also on the ITE.org site. So on the profile page, you can set up your a photo. And you can do that by using this gearbox here in the upper right-hand corner. You can also add a bio or your background, specialty areas, volunteer activities that are related to ITE or current projects that you're working on. You can link to your social media sites, any awards, honors that you've got in the past, etc. If you already have a LinkedIn profile, which many people do, an easy way you can import information from there and select which information is directly pulled from that, so you don't have to fill this out separately. You just do that by clicking this Grab Your Profile from LinkedIn. Another important thing here is if you click here, if you click to edit this contact information, say the phone number's wrong or you've started a new job, this is a place where when you update this, it actually updates it in the ITE membership database. So you update it here, it'll also be reflected on ite.org. Your email address changes here, it'll update in ite.org, so it'll update everywhere. In the upper right-hand corner of your profile page, you'll see these tabs that reflect your activity on ITE community. So you can see your postings, any postings that you've done, messages you've sent, any files that you've shared, and any of your blogs that if you add. So you can kind of say, oh, I remember I talked about that topic at one point. This will kind of keep a record of everything that you do here. Additionally, on your profile page, you can access your contacts. So if you see other members that you know, people in your district or council or people in your job, and you find them here, you can add them as contacts, and this will keep a record here where you can access it. You'll also see your communities. You're automatically placed in various communities based on your ITE membership record. So if you join a council, you'll be a part of that community, and that'll be reflected here. All members have been added to the all-member forum, so that was something that was automatically added. You'll be a part of that community. You'll also see your district or section that you're involved in. From your profile page, you'll also be able to access your inbox. That will be a place where when you send personal messages across the IT community, you'll have your inbox there. as well as your privacy settings. You click this link, it shows you who has access to your profile, what information you want other members to see. And you can also update your subscriptions, and that means what communities you're receiving messages from. So we'll go ahead and show you how to do that here. By clicking on your subscriptions, you'll see that you'll automatically have already been subscribed to the all-member forum with a daily digest. However, there's 4 subscription types in ITE community, and you have the option to change whichever community you're involved in, what type of subscription you'd like. You can get all your messages in real time, meaning whenever anyone adds a post to that group, you'll get it instantly, just like email. The daily digest is much like what we have with the all-member forum, where any messages that were posted the previous day will show up in your inbox concisely in one message that basically shows all the messages from the previous day. The legacy option is specifically for people that are on the move a lot. It's a way that you can respond to messages. You'll receive them in real time, but you can respond directly to them from your phone without logging into the ITE community site. And then there's also the no emails. So you go out of the office for some time and you don't want to come back with a bunch of emails in your inbox. You can update your subscription at any time to just no emails. We ask you to avoid the unsubscribe button, because the unsubscribe button, what it does is actually removes you from that community. So when you log into the site, whenever you log into the ITE community site, if you've unsubscribed, you may not even see the messages on the site. If you switch to no emails, you're still a part of that community, but you won't be getting the messages. But when you come to the site, you can see all the messages from that community. Keep in mind you can update these subscriptions at any time. So if you find you're on real time and you're getting too many messages, you can always switch to the daily digest and just get the 1 message a day, or vice versa. And so also another thing that we want to keep in mind is if you're not receiving the all-member forum, weekly we get bounce backs. Some people's spam filters are blocking the all-member forum message. So to prevent unwanted messages sent, we usually switch those people to no emails. So if you log in and you see your subscription type set already for the all-member forum to no emails, it's probably because we've been getting bounce backs. And if you contact us here at ITE, we can help you help that message get around your spam filter. Another tip that we like to talk about down here is if you feel like you're getting too many emails or the daily digest is just too much, you can always remember you can set up with your own email program a rule that kind of a folder perhaps, and sets all messages from ITE community into one folder. So you can say, oh, maybe I have some downtime now and I want to access those messages in that folder. Next, we'll talk about the communities link. So like I said, you're automatically placed in certain communities like the all-member forum and your districts and sections and councils. So when you click on your communities tab, you'll see all the communities that you're a part of already. The green check mark means that you're a part of that community. Right there. So one of the things I want to stress here today is that being a community member is not the same thing as subscribing. So like I said, you can be a part of a community, and when you go to the site, you'll see the messages on the site. But in order to get the messages that are posted and on that site, you need to actually subscribe to that community so that you're getting the messages and you're keeping in the loop of what is going on in that community. Another interesting thing is if you're a part of a community and someone else isn't, say you're part of the Traffic Engineering Council and one of your coworkers is in the Planning Council, when you come to the site you'll actually see different things because only community members can see the community messages and files. So District 6 messages won't be seen by District 1 messages and things on the site when you log in. So that's just something to keep in mind throughout the site. Only community members see those certain files. You'll also see that there'll be additional communities outside the ones you're placed in that you can join. They're open communities that have either been created by other members or have been created by us at headquarters that are open to join. They're either topic related or geography related. So on the communities page, these numbers here on the side are actually the number of people subscribed to the discussion of that community. And here you have the number of files that have been placed in that community's library and then you have the overall number of members. And you can notice that the members are not all subscribers, but the number of members that are actually in that community. So now we're going to show you how to create your own community. Say, you're on the all-member forum and a topic is being discussed, but you feel like it could be more specifically discussed with a group of people. You can create your own community. From the My Communities page, you can click this button up here in the upper right-hand corner and create your own community. By creating your own community, you can just name your community, describe what it's all about. Say the mission of this community is for to talk specifically about roundabouts, to talk specifically about some aspect of safety. And you just add that description, and then you can actually say, who do I want to join this community? What type of community do I want, participation from? You can set it up to be invitation only, so that it's a private community, so that you invite the people that you want to participate, and it's only those people that will be able to see what you're discussed and what files you share. You can keep it open to all ITE members. In the case of this site right now, ITE members and authenticated are exactly the same thing because we're only allowing ITE members on the site. So authenticated means just people who have access to the site, which in this case is ITE members. So you can keep it open to just all ITE members. And so that's some of the communities that you'll see on the site that are already just open, and you have the ability to join them as well. You can also say who can view your community. Is this something that you want everyone to see, or is this something you only want the members of your community or the members of ITE to see? And then you can add a discussion and a library to the community that you create, and you can also decide who can add calendar events to this community. Keep in mind, once you start a community, you can delete it at any time. One of the tips that we have, just because you create a community does not mean that necessarily there's going to be activity. We learned that ourselves here at ITE headquarters. But, if there's a significant interest in a topic area and you're willing to start a community and get the conversation going, you can create it, and then once the conversation is over, once the project is done, the task force is over, you can delete it at any time or keep it there for forever. So, like I said, there's public versus private. If it's invite only, it's like a small group that basically can share files, share conversation without anybody else seeing it except those people in the group, or you can be public and anybody can join the group. One tip that we have down here, this is one way to share large files. If you don't have an FTP service, you can post large files to a small community and invite 5 people and just share that large file with people. Next, we're going to talk about discussions. Your All Discussions page under Communities, you'll basically see all the discussions of the communities that are open to you. So by clicking on this page, it's under the Communities drop-down, it's All Discussions. You'll see kind of a breakdown of all the different discussions that are open to you, the ones you're subscribed to and part of, as well as the ones that are open. It shows you the number of posts that have happened in that community, the number of files here, once again the number of subscribers, the last date. This is kind of how to tell if something's active or not, the last date of the last posting. There's also on this page a helpful tool up in the upper right-hand corner right here. It's called Quick Links, where you can click and see what are all the messages that have been posted in the last 24 hours or the last 7 days or the last 30 days. So this is kind of how to see what is the most active stuff and what's going on in the communities that you are involved in. There's also a button over here to click the Community Digest, which is very similar to the all-member forum digest that you get in your email. It's just a spreadsheet of that, and there's ability to post a message. So right now we're going to show you how to post a message. You click on the Post a Message link, either from the drop-down, from that page. There's several places on the site that you'll see the Post a Message link. Once you get to the Post a Message, it's much like an email that you're going to send from your inbox, except you can only post a message to the communities that you're subscribed to. So you have to be involved and subscribed to that community, because obviously if you post it to a community you're not subscribed to, you're not going to get the responses. So once you're subscribed to a community, you can select 2. So this will give you a drop-down of all the communities that you're subscribed to, and you can select that's who you're going to send the message to. You can also have the ability to cross-post. So say you want to send it to two different groups because you're subscribed to them and you know there's kind of different involvement or different levels, but you want both groups to be aware. You can send to a different group. Say you want to send it to a council as well as your district. You can start the message in two different groups as well. Add your subject, and here is just your email box where you can type your message, add in the images, add hyperlinks, all that good stuff. And then say you need to attach a file. Say you have some images that go along with your message, or you say, hey guys, check out this PDF or this study that I just recently saw and I thought it was really good. You click, before you send your message, you click the attach button, the green attach button over here in the lower left-hand corner, and it'll bring up this page where you can select the files from your, it can be one file, it can be multiple files from your, you'll click select a file and it'll open up a page on your desktop. You can find the files, you can add multiple ones, and then you click upload the files, and then you click next. Okay. Next you can add the title of what you're uploading and a description. So like if before you added 3 files, say there's 3 images of an intersection from different angles, you can say it's, you give it the title and describe where it is and all that. And then if there's folders in that community, you can add it to a folder. If not, you don't need to. And then you can just click next, and which will take you back to your message, and then you hit send, and it'll be send that message to the community, as well as a link in that to the files that you've added. All right, next we're going to move right along over here to directory. Most of you guys are probably familiar with the directory and how to find it. We have one on the ITE.org site, and this is very similar in the sense you can type your first name, last name, company, email address, and find a member. But you also have the ability over here on the left-hand side to browse, say, your district. So it'll show you all the people that are in your district, your section, the councils, that kind of thing. And once you find the person that you're looking for, you can add them as a contact. Right here we have Christina's, her page, her profile page, and once we find Christina, there's a button right here that says add Christina as a contact. You can click that link. It'll send Christina a message both in her inbox on her on her profile page, on her community page, but it'll also put it in her inbox with the associated email that she has here. And then she can accept you as a contact, and then you guys will be linked. You can also, there's a send message button here as well that sends a message both to their inbox on community as well as in their inbox of their email program. Okay, each community, now we're talking about communities, and each community has a home page. It's called the Recent Activity tab. So if you click on the All Member Forum link anywhere across the site, that's the community, what we're going to talk about today. There's the Recent Activity, which is basically a home page that shows you everything that's been going on in that community recently. So it has the most recent discussion postings, the most recent upcoming events, shared files, or any blogs that have been associated with that community. You'll kind of see what's here on this Recent Activity page corresponds with the tabs that go across for the specific community of their discussions, library, blogs, events, etc. So let me go back here. So if you work our way kind of across the top from the Recent Activity, if you click on Discussions, you'll get this page. The discussions show even more in-depth of what the most recent discussions are for that community. They're naturally sorted by the most recent replies to a thread. So this thread would be the most recent one with 14 replies and the most recent time that last message was posted. But you can also sort. If you click the thread subject link right here, it will alphabetize this list. If you click the replies, it'll show you which file, since All Member Forum started, had the most replies. So which one has been most popular over time. You can also click over here, you can show by date. So instead of by a thread and which thread had the most recent message, it'll be the messages as they come in across threads. You can also post a new message from this page. This is one of the other places that you can post a new page. And so let's click the file. So here you can click the thread, and it will show you the thread itself. The thread will look very similar to what you get in your inbox with the All Member Forum Daily Digest. It'll list all the messages down here in order. And the chronology is sometimes broken because people, as they get the messages, reply to different messages at different times. So it'll somewhat look broken up, but this is the order that people have replied to it. So this message right here looks kind of like what you get in your inbox from the all-member forum. And you'll have a link over here to the discussion home, which will actually bring you to this page, or you can click reply to discussion. Reply to discussion will be how you contribute to the thread. If you know a little bit something about this topic, or you're also looking for something, you can always click reply to discussion, and your feedback will be sent to the entire group as well. Also, there's a reply to sender link. This will send a private message to the author or whatever message you've added and say it won't be a part of the overall thread. It'll just reply specifically, privately to the person who made the post. One of the good practices that we like to encourage over here is that once you start a thread, if you ask a question to the group and you get a bunch of replies, it's always a good practice to, if you found what you're looking for, to say thank you and basically say, reply back to the message that you started and say, guys, thanks for all these messages. This has been really helpful. What I found has been most useful is this, this, and this. That will help summarize what you found, and when people come back to the site, when they come back, say this discussion dies, 6 months from now somebody else has the same question. They come back, do a little searching here on the site, and they say, oh, this thread has already happened. Let me read it. Oh, this person asked the same things, faced the same problem that they had in their community as I do, and they summarize, and this is how they dealt with it. That's a helpful thing. Working our way across the tabs, then there's a library tab. Remember before when we talked about posting a message, you could add an attachment. Well, once you add an attachment to a message, it is automatically placed in that community's library. So you send the message out to the whole group, and you add your attachment. Here we got PDFs. It goes to the whole group, and people, once they click on it, it'll be added automatically into this library. But then it'll be just a kind of repository of files here, a library. So you can also add files. You can add an entry without sending a message. However, that's not always as helpful because the best thing is kind of put the file in people's inboxes so that they know that it's there. So if you just add a file here, that's perfectly fine as well, but you won't get as many views. Over on the right-hand side over here, the site keeps statistics of how many people have viewed each file. So you can see which ones are more popular. I know these top two here were posted with messages, and they've gotten 30, 60 views, something like this, where somebody added this file without sending a message and only one person has viewed it, kind of by stumbling across it on the site. You can recommend files. It gives them more weight because there's certain tabs across here that help you sort whether you want to just see slideshows or images, audio, things like that. You can see also the most viewed. Some people aren't always as comfortable with this chronological view. Other people like folder views, kind of like you have on your desktop. So there's this button up here called Switch to Folder View. The folder view helps you, when you click that, let's see, get a little slow here. When you click the folder view, it does just that. It switches the same library, the same files, it's just a different way to look at them. There's different folders in the all-member forum that basically has, here's just one that's photos or one that's journals, and then all the corresponding files alphabetically over here. Okay, next we're going to talk about how you add an event. There's an event calendar, the event function here on IT Community that anybody who's part of the community can add events to. The default is the list view, which just shows everything in chronological order, but you can also have a link. There's a link up here that switches to a more traditional calendar view. In the calendar view, let's see. Okay, calendar view. The calendar view is just much like any other calendar, and shows when upcoming meetings are. So if your district, section, task force, anything that you're a part of that's IT related or you think that other IT members would be interested in, you can come onto the site, look and see if it's already there, and if not, you can add an event. In the upper right hand corner here, there's a button that says add an event. I'll show you how to do that. Of course, if you're going to add an event, one of the things we want to say down here is make sure you search the site first to see that somebody else in your community hasn't already added the event so there's not duplicates. Adding an event is pretty self-explanatory. It walks your way through what's the title of the event, what's the event type, which community is it associated with. This isn't this isn't a requirement. You can just put any event. You don't have to associate it with a community. If you do associate it with the community, only members of that community will be able to see it. But if you don't associate it with a community, everyone can see it. You can enter the event details like the location, anyone that needs contact information, upload a file, that kind of thing, hyperlinks to a registration, anything like that. One of the last tabs across the top of the page is the blog tab. You click it, you can view all the latest blogs. Blogs are a good way to share information across communities. It shares it across the site at large. It doesn't send out messages, but what it does when people come to the home page or they click on the blog page here, you can it'll show you the most recent thing. Another benefit of the blogs is it also, much like the library, it shows statistics. You can actually see how many people have viewed or commented or recommended what you've added here. Another thing is we love to share what you guys have done. So if your community, if your group, if your section, student chapter has done something that you think is worthy and put it out here, we like to link to that in our monthly ITE Connect message that goes out to all members. We like to say, oh, look what this group has done, and it's your words, so not ours. So we love to do that as well. So you just add a blog entry by clicking this blog, create a new blog entry. And it's much like a message. You just title what your blog entry is going to be, fill out any of the information, what you want to talk about, what you found, what you guys have done, anything like that, text, images, hyperlinks. You can then down here you can associate it with community if you like. If you associate it with the community, it'll show up on that community's homepage, but it's not necessary to associate it with the community, and it'll be seen across the site. You can actually elect who can read your blog, whether it's the general public or whether it's people that have logged into the site and who can make comments on your blog. That sums up my presentation right now. Just keep in mind that the site is got a lot of functionality. There's a lot of places that you get to different sections the same way, or different parts of the site multiple ways is what I want to say. But I understand that there's always going to be questions about the site, and we're happy to answer the questions here. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, take any feedback, any suggestions. So you can either send me a message, send Christina a message, or you can even post it to the all-member forum. You can say, hey, I'm really finding I need a question about this, because chances are you're not the only one in the membership that has the same question, and if you ask on the all-member forum, we will reply from here so that everybody who's reading it can see the same answer. So that concludes my presentation right now. I'm going to turn it back over to Christina, who's been taking questions. So if you have any questions, obviously put them in the chat box, and Christina will take care of them from there.
Yes, thank you, Zach. That was a great presentation, and we definitely covered the basics and then some. I had some great questions throughout the presentation and have answered, I think, most of them through the chat box, but we can go over a few. And I'd also like to highly encourage you to keep asking questions. This is, what Zach presented was great, but I think your comments, questions, that's what we really want to hear. It's helpful to other people on the call right now, as well as anyone who looks at the recording in the future, and it also gives us an idea of what we may want to focus on in the future. Again, this is being recorded, so if you do have to leave now, no worries, you will have access to it at a later time. Speaking of, one of the questions we did get was, will this be available? Yes, it will. We will make sure that anyone on the call is aware of where they can get it once it is up online. It will probably go into the all-member forum. We'll also post a copy of Zach's presentation of just the slides as well. So I'm going to right now just go through a couple of the questions that were asked during the presentation, but like I said, please keep asking questions and we will get to you as we can. One thing that came up that I'd like to address to Zach is there was a question about whether or not browsers, if all browsers display the community. The short answer is yes, that the community does work in all standard browsers, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, and Safari. But I'm just going to ask Zach real quick if there's anything you need to be aware of when using some of those.
Thanks, Christina. Yeah, that's a great question. Just like anything on the web, as we move forward, older browsers tend to get phased out. You don't see this site, especially IT community as well. I know we've had problems with this site in Internet Explorer 7. Version 8, that's I think what we're running right now on this site right now, works just fine. Firefox, Chrome, those work just fine. I test the site and all those, and the latest versions of those work. So the suggestion, just like anything, I know at home I'm not always the greatest about it, but updating your browser to the latest version usually helps answer those questions.
Great, thank you, Zach. Another question I've gotten a couple of times is if a change is made on the online directory, does it change your profile in the community? Zach did mention that when you do that on the community, it does change the directory. Yes, it works both ways. So if you make any change to your online your profile in the ITE community, it does change the ITE database, which then changes the membership directory online. Vice versa, if you make a change in the membership directory online, it does then change the membership your membership profile on the IT community. And if you call ITE or send us a message and ask us to update that information, it is also updated in all of those places. So it is all integrated. The only thing I would warn is sometimes when you make a change in any of those places, there might be a lag time, and so it may take maybe 30 minutes before you see the change everywhere. So before you think it hasn't worked, I would just say give it a little bit of time and then check back. If after a half an hour or so and you still don't see the change, then please feel free to contact anyone at ITE, and we'd be happy to help with that. One of the other questions that I thought might be, that I did answer, but I thought would be worth bringing up again. Actually, I'm sorry, that was it. Everything else for the most part I think we caught. We did have one user bring up the issue of having everybody being able to add calendar events and wondering if that would cause any sort of problem where maybe someone made a change that was or put up an event that maybe was unwanted. We did consider this, but so far no one's really done that. We have a lot of great information on the event calendar beyond just normal ITE events. ITE tends to publish all district and section and chapter events that we're aware of, not just on the community but in ITE Journal as well, and in ITE Connect. But this event calendar gives you a little more comprehensive overview of everything going on. There might be smaller, like bowling events that wouldn't necessarily go into the journal that you might want to put out there. And as Zach mentioned, you could actually put that for just your community, just your district, just your section council, whatever it happens to be, or you could put that to everybody if you wanted to invite everybody. And you also have some non-ITE events, maybe some webinars or an event that has to do with the profession and the industry, but isn't necessarily an IT event. It's still helpful for all of you to know, and this is an appropriate place to put that. I think, let's see, do we have any more questions? Oh, I have a question about, is there a forum for people who are webmaster for sections or districts? We don't have anything like this yet. I believe we are looking at creating a leadership community. It's something we're working on, and as Zach mentioned before too, it's not an issue of if you build it, they will come. We have to make sure that there is a relevant reason for having a community. In the beginning, we had a lot of communities that no one really used, so we want to make sure we're not overwhelming you with unnecessary communities. So we definitely want something that's worthwhile. Zach.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, one of the ways we think that it is beneficial to, if you start your own community, say like the last question here, or you have a task force, or you have something that you want to be public, or even for your district, or you're a council liaison, and you don't feel like there's enough members subscribed to your community, the all-member forum is a good way to reach out. Once you create the community, you have a few messages. Say you have 25 people subscribe, but you're like, I know there's bigger interest in this. Just reach a message out to the all-member forum. Say, hey, I've started this community, or who else in the Freight Mobility Council wants to talk about this, and just reach it out there and provide a link to your community and say it's open for subscribing. This is what we plan to talk about. This is what we've done so far. Come join us. Help move the conversation forward.
Okay, great. We had Jenny Grote, as you probably saw, just posted a message saying that this would be a great session at district conferences and or the ITE annual meeting. I totally agree. While right now we don't have any formal sessions planned, I should point out that generally speaking we do have an ITE resource center in the exhibit hall at at the technical conference and the annual meeting. We encourage you to go see Zach. He's generally there and will be able to walk through the community with you and answer any of your questions one-to-one, which is great. And you also, this also brings me to the point that this is the all-member forum especially is a great point for us to, a great place for members to let us know what you want to see. So anytime you have an idea of what you'd like to see at an annual meeting, this is a great place to do it. Zach, we have another question here for you. It says, can you discuss the search process further? For example, if you search a particular topic, i.e. flashing yellow arrows, does the search return only provide discussion threads, or will library items or other ITE community topics be included? Also, is the search limited to the community website, or can resources from the main ITE page be included in your search?
Okay, this is a great question. Actually, I'm glad it was brought up because I should have covered it earlier. The search function on the IT community site is pretty great. It searches all the communities that you're affiliated with, all open communities, so anything that is not private. So let's say yellow flashing right now. If you search in the upper right-hand corner, it's going to search all discussions. It's going to search all files. It's going to search anything. This is a glossary term, flashing beacon, that's here in the glossary. These are all discussions, flashing yellow arrow and trap that has happened, clearance, yellow arrow clearance, flashing green ball. But on the IT community site, so these are all discussions. Those little boxes over here on the left mean a discussion. So these are all the different posts that have the term that I just used. I think it was yellow flashing. These are all the results that you're going to see from that. But it will search if there was an image in one of the libraries that said yellow flashing in it, it would return that as well. So it's going to return everything. As far as it does not search the ITE main ITE site. However, the inverse is true. If you search on the ite.org site in the upper right-hand corner, sorry I didn't have this brought up before, but if you search on the ITE site, it also searches in the Google custom search here. It also searches whatever's on ITE community as well. Now, a lot of times, because of the way Google works, it won't come up at the top because there's more access has happened on the ite.org site. It's bringing up the things that have been accessed most, but it will search things. So sometimes if you search even for someone's name, you search for anything on the ITE site, you'll get a few posts that come up here, especially the ones that have been really popular. I know there was a big conversation about Hawk. I'm not an engineer and I don't really know what that is, but there's a big conversation in all-member forum about that, and if you search for it on the main ITE site, it'll bring up stuff from the IT community. So the search on the community is really well because it's kind of what I like to say is the IT community, one of the benefits of it, and the benefit of being IT, it is our institutional knowledge. It is what you guys know and what you share that's going to help people in the future. So the more you share, the more files you add, the more discussions you have, when somebody comes on here and searches, they can get the knowledge that you guys have shared previously before coming to the site. So, yes, I hope that answers the question.
Thanks, Zach. And that brings up a good point. I mean, your institutional knowledge, your knowledge of what you do, ITE membership is really about learning from one another and collaborating with one another. And that, I would say, is your biggest benefit of being a member of ITE. So I think this is just such a good resource and a good way to do that and an easy way to do that. So if those of you who haven't been using it much, I would definitely say, use this. Even if you're just an observer, it's a great resource for everyone. So Kiwi Dave, who I am guessing may be our person who is the furthest away from us today, has asked the question: is subscribing to the community free? Community subscriptions are free to all members. This is a member-only benefit at this time, so we don't charge anybody to join the community, but non-members cannot join the community at this time. In the future, we may set up communities specific for non-members and give them limited access, but I don't believe we would charge at that time, even for non-members. So I think that wraps up that question. I also have a couple more questions here that I'll direct to Zach. One is, I am trying to fill out all my info, which is great, thank you, but I don't see my complete your profile bar increasing. What do I have to do? You know what, my complete your profile bar doesn't seem to be increasing either. So Zach, tell us, what can you do to make that bar fill out?
The big mystery of IT community. I get this question quite a bit. Different things are weighted differently. So the completed profile, once you fill out all your information on your page, I don't think it even gets complete, your profile completeness. I think you still need to participate and send a message, I want to say, to one of the communities or respond to a message. I think that's that gives you points, as well as maybe adding a file or a blog. I don't know if you have to, but I think one of them you have to do to get the most complete profile. But once you add everything and get a little bit of activity going on the site, you'll see it increase.
My theory is it's not possible, and it's just a motivation to keep you going. I blog and do all of that, and I'm still not quite there. So I challenge you all to do whatever you can do. And if the first one of you who writes me and says you have a complete bar, you'll get a prize. I promise. I don't know what it'll be, but you'll get a prize. The next question is there an alert system for new or updated ITE publications?
There is not currently an alert system. One of the things that we do like to do is kind of like what I call like a soft alert. Everyone knows that Trip Generation 9th edition just came out. It's one of our biggest sellers. So one of the things that we like to do is just place the picture of it in the messages over on the right-hand side. We're going to start probably doing this for all of our big publications, so that when you're getting the messages from the all-member forum, from the Daily Digest, these ads. This is technically called an ad, but we're reserving that to just IT-related materials. So this right here is a link to order the order the Trip Generation manual. So any new IT pubs that come out are going to be here.
I have another question here. When searching for discussions, how can we see the entire thread of a discussion versus a specific message? I'm going to let Zach take that one too.
Okay, thank you. One of the ways, okay, so here we are on the home page of the IT community. At the top you have the latest discussion from the all-member forum. So if you click on the message title here, it's going to take you to that specific message. However, if you click on posted in all member forum, it's going to take you to all the discussions on that, and you'll see the thread. So you'll notice that these last few messages have no replies over here. 0, 0, 0. This one has 1. This one has 4. So let's click on that. If you click on the thread title here from this page, you'll get all 4 messages that you see here in order. Additionally, when you get the message in your inbox, if you do, a link over here on the right-hand side says View Thread, and that will take you directly to this page that we're on here from the message in your inbox. If you click View Thread, you'll get to see everything that's happened in the thread so far. So like I said, back from the home page, you'll see each individual message, and clicking on the message title will send you to that message. So this is, oh, well, this one's not a good example because it doesn't have a thread, but you can click the view thread from any message and it'll take you to everything that's in that thread.
And just a quick comment on why there are no replies to those first ones is, generally speaking, most people are set up for that daily digest, so you actually won't see those questions come through your email until tomorrow. That's just something to keep in mind. If you do post a question, you may see that come up the next day. So keep an eye out. Let's see, do we have? Okay. It looks like right now that's all the questions we have. Is there anyone else that has a question? You can either type it in now or raise your hand. Give just a minute to see if anyone's still typing. Okay, well, it looks like that's it. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today. Thank you all for attending. And, you know, if you come up with any other questions, please feel free to contact Zach or myself. Or, of course, you can pose your question to the all-member forum. We really appreciate you being here today and would appreciate any feedback you might have, or if there's anything in particular that you would like to see in a future webinar, maybe we could delve into something in a little more detail. Please let us know. We would like to do more of these in the future, and your input is really helpful. So thank you all.